Yo guys! First of all, a big thank you to everyone who always supports me and my channel. In today's run I want to show you something very special, namely my own strain. I took the liberty of naming it Gorilla Glookies. A few months ago one of my Glookies hermied and pollinated a Gorilla Glue. I germinated 5 seeds from the resulting seeds and kept the worst phenotype for my grow, as I gave away the better phenotypes. I want to empathize again that I am fully aware that hermies should not be used as breeding material, but I wanted to test it anyway and show you in this video how I grow my own strain organically. I grew the Gorilla Glookies for 50 days in the vegetative stage under 18 hours of light and then placed it in the Spider Farmer setup for the flowering stage. The setup is a 70 by 70 by 160 cm Spider Farmer complete grow tent kit with the Spider Farmer SF1000 LED, a 100mm or 4-inch inline fan, a 100mm or 4-inch activated carbon filter, and the 6-inch Spider Farmer clip fan with different speeds and adjustable oscillation. The entire setup is controlled and monitored via the GGS controller. Personally, I am a big fan of the Spider Farmer app, as it is a very simple and convenient solution. You can find the links to the products below in the video description. Use my code 420Lexikon for an 8% discount on all Spider Farmer products. To germinate, I filled a 0.5 liter cup with lightly pre-fertilized soil that you can get from any grow shop. Then placed the seed in the center about 2 cm deep in the soil and sprayed water directly onto the seed once with a small spray bottle. Then covered the seed with soil and moistened the surface again with a few sprays. I then left the pot in the tent at over 15 degrees Celsius and checked it daily until the seedling has come to the surface. If you want to see how this works, check out my video about the vegetation stage. As soon as the seedling has come to the surface, the Gorilla Glookies was placed under an 18-hour light cycle. Day 1 is counted from the moment the seedling emerged to the surface and shed its seed coat. This plant is a photoperiodic plant, which means that it will only enter the flowering stage when the light hours are changed to 12 hours of light. For the first 2 weeks the plant is only watered with a small spray bottle. Once the plant is a little bigger, you can start watering it properly. I do this by checking the weight of the pot. You simply lift the pot before and after watering. If you do this often enough, you will know that the dry pot weighs almost nothing and you should let the pot dry out a little before each watering. The amount of water is simply adjusted to the plant's drinking behavior. If the pot dries out too quickly, I water it more the next time, but always make sure not to overwater. It is better to give too little water than too much. I water with tap water that has been left to stand for 12 to 24 hours. I don't adjust the pH value and I don't use liquid fertilizers. Once the plant had completely rooted through the cup, I repotted it into an 8-liter fabric pot. I topped the plant above the 5th node and also removed the side shoots at the 1st node, as I noticed that these usually grow weaker. Once the plant had grown roots through the 8-liter fabric pot, I fertilized it with approximately 3 grams per liter of medium greenhouse feeding Bio Bloom. This is an organic slow release fertilizer that supplies the plant with nutrients throughout the entire flowering stage. For me, this is the best method, as I don't have time to mix a fertilizer solution every time I water. Furthermore, unlike many others, I honestly don't see any relevant price differences when you consider the amount of products required and the frequency of application. Although I used the worst phenotype out of my 5 seeds, I immediately noticed that the plants are extremely vigorous, grow strongly, and above all are totally undemanding. Here the plant is already in the flowering stage or stretch. These are the first 2 to 3 weeks of the flowering stage, in which the plant, depending on the strain and the length of the vegetative stage, produces a height increase of 100 to 200%. In the flowering stage, I lollipop the plant in the 3rd week, around day 21. Here you can see what the gorilla Glookies look like before lollipopping. When lollipopping, I remove all upper leaves that cast shadows on the bud sides, all lower leaves that no longer receive light, and all bud sides that are located in the lower third of the plant and are too underdeveloped so that the plant focuses on the upper flowers. And here you can see what the gorilla Glookies look like after lollipopping. I want to emphasize again that this is a home grow and not a commercial grow. In every grow stage, the VPD or vapor pressure deficit is actually the ideal value that you should focus on. The VPD is influenced by the ratio of temperature to humidity. You can read and adjust your current VPD using charts. There are different charts for each type of lamp. I have included the one for LEDs in the description. Of course, the GGS controller does this part of work for you and calculates your VPD in real time via the sensor. Throughout the day, i.e. as long as the light is on, I keep the recirculating clip fan on simply to reduce the chance of mold developing. If you would like some Gorilla Glookie seeds, feel free to message me on Instagram again. In the first few weeks of the flowering stage, I sometimes raise the temperature to 29 degrees Celsius. In the last 2 weeks of the flowering stage, however, I take more care not to exceed 25 degrees Celsius in order to preserve terpenes and cannabinoids. The GGS is ideal for this. The SF1000 also produces hardly any heat in the 70x70 tent, so temperatures remain low. I have to say the GGS, or rather the GGS in combination with the Spider Farmer app, really takes a lot of work off my hands, as I can easily monitor and control all parameters via the app. For example, I can control my tent from my bed, from the couch, or even when I'm on the go. I can see immediately when the temperatures get too high and control my tent manually or simply preset all the parameters so that the tent reacts automatically if anything happens. I feel like I don't need to do anything except watering and repotting. The late discoloration, yellowing and drying out of the leaves is intentional. At the end of the flowering stage, i.e. the life of the plant, it consumes all the nutrients from the leaves and then sheds them off. This process is also known as flushing and ensures that less chlorophyll has to be broken down in the end product, resulting in a smoother and more flavorful smoke. This time I didn't play around with 48 hours of only light or only darkness before harvesting, as the plant was still in the tent with other plants. On day 74 I harvested the gorilla Glookies. To dry the plant I hung it upside down after removing all the larger leaves, i.e. the fan leaves. It is best to hang the plant in a dark place with a temperature of 16 to 19 degrees Celsius and the humidity of 55 to 60% to protect terpenes and cannabinoids. It took about 10 days to dry the plant. This is what the buds look like after drying, and the total harvest amounted to about 45 grams. I must say I'm very happy with this run. Check out the links in the video description where you will find all the products that I used here. Use my code 420Lexikon for an 8% discount on all Spider Farmer products. If you liked the video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more grow videos and to support me. Otherwise, thank you if you have watched the video so far, and I'll see you in the next run.